My name is Elizabeth Perry. I'm the Advocacy and Communication Manager of the Anglican Alliance, which exists to connect, equip, and inspire the worldwide Anglican family to work for a world free of poverty and injustice and to safeguard creation. At the end of October and beginning of November, COP26 will take place in Glasgow. COP26 stands for the 26th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or UNFCCC. The UNFCCC is the preeminent global decision-making process to tackle climate change. Pretty much every country in the world is part of the negotiations. The COP is not the only global or UN forum for climate negotiations, so this is not the only opportunity we have for advocacy and influencing, but it is an extremely important one. Why? Back in 2015, COP21 led to the historic Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement was a game changer. It wasn't perfect, but it was the moment when the world finally, as a whole, came together on climate change and agreed to take the measures necessary to keep global temperature rise below 1.5 degrees Celsius. A lot has happened since then. Businesses and cities are rising to the challenge of creating a more sustainable future. Renewable forms of energy production have increased and the costs fallen dramatically. Individuals, communities, and churches are taking action. There is a lot to celebrate, but not enough is happening. At the moment, as a world, we are not doing nearly enough to address the enormity of the crisis we're facing. In the Paris Agreement, there is a scheduled milestone every 5 years when each country is supposed to significantly increase their commitment to reducing their greenhouse gas emissions or nationally determined contributions. COP26 is the first of these scheduled milestones, and it is therefore an important moment for ratcheting up of ambition and action. That's a key reason why there will be so much media coverage of the COP and why so many people will be watching what happens and trying to influence the outcome. There are other reasons it's important too. Other key goals of COP26 are to encourage countries to adapt to protect communities and natural habitats, to mobilize $100 billion in climate finance per year from developed countries, and to work together across the private sector, civil society, member states, and other partners to rise to the challenges presented by the climate crisis. The Anglican Communion, or more accurately in this case, the Anglican Consultative Council, has recently gained accreditation as an observer NGO to the UNFCCC. There has been Anglican presence at previous COPs, but accreditation means that for the first time, the Anglican Communion as a whole can participate in this decision-making space. And it provides opportunities which just haven't been there before. These include making formal written submissions and having an Anglican Communion delegation to attend the COP, which can hold meetings with government delegations. It means we can be in the room and bring the voices and experiences of Anglicans across the Communion into this preeminent global decision-making space. This is a significant opportunity, and the ACC COP26 working group is working hard to make the most of it. We will be sending a small delegation which prioritizes youth and Indigenous voices, and we're finalizing our policy paper, which has resilience and just financing as priority focus areas. But all of us need to take action. This is a time to speak out, take action, and advocate for change. Climate change is an existential threat for millions of people and for myriad species and habitats. It must break God's heart. Both science and faith tell us we are deeply interconnected. The COVID-19 pandemic has screamed this truth at us. The time for seeing ourselves as separate from one another or from the natural world is past. The science tells us urgent action is needed now and at scale. Science and experience tell us this is possible. Do we have the faith to act? Please pray for the Anglican Communion's delegation, and please pray for our brothers and sisters across the world who are on the front line of the climate emergency.